Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It's the 21st of July, 2025. It is 12:23 p.m. Here in the UK. And apologies for no updates or content last week. I've just done a dry fasting exercise from Monday to Friday of last week, and I completed 105 hours out of the intended 120 hours, and I'll explain why it was cut short. Dry fasting, for anyone unaware, is fasting, meaning no food, no water, or any kind of fluids. But there's different types of fasting. Mine was a full-on dry fast, so you don't have any intake into your body whatsoever, no matter what. Some of you might know from my previous video, I've done a 72-hour dry fast, which is 3 days, a few weeks back. And although it was challenging, it just wasn't challenging enough. Before I start, I'm going to throw up some just some very short videos of things that I've done, a couple of photos and stuff like that. But it's all going to be spontaneous. I'm just going to throw it up there, so hopefully it'll be okay. But before I start, I have got to give you this important disclaimer. Um, do not go off and try any of these exercises and tasks, such as dry fasting, until you understand what's involved, and make sure that you first seek some kind of advice, help, and support from somebody like a healthcare professional. The main reason for that, guys, is because of not eating any food nor drinking any water for long periods of time can be dangerous, causing things like dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, and organ strain, amongst other complications. Right, that's out of the way. But moving on swiftly, going without water is dangerous. A person can generally survive for about 3 days without water. That's a kind of standard. But that's going to vary depending on your build, gender, age, health, and also you have to consider your environmental conditions that you're in whilst fasting. If it's heat and hot, you're going to dehydrate a lot quicker. If you're in good health and sound mind, experts suggest that dry fasting should not exceed 24 to 72 hours. So 1 to 3 days, if you're going to do it in between those times. Day 3 to 5 or 4 and 5, I thought would be the real test. Without water, nutrients can't be delivered to the cells in your body. The kidneys can't flush out any waste. Your temperature can't be regulated because of sweating or not being able to sweat. Joints can't be lubricated, and your digestive system will struggle to function properly. Going without food whilst drinking water, however, so that's a different kind of fasting, will give you anywhere between 25 and 70 days. When I say give you, I mean, if you don't eat, you could die within 25 to 70 days. It could be less for some people, again, depending on the various factors, you as a person, those conditions, and various other things. So, the purpose of this exercise is to see what it feels like to have no food, water, or drinks of any type, any fluids for the duration of this exercise. For me, I wanted to sort of understand what the psychological mind and also the physical body goes through when going without those two vital components we rely heavily on. I wanted to test my boundaries, and until I have done that. We're never really going to understand what it's like to go without. So throughout this exercise, I have taken notes on what I was doing, what sort of challenges I kind of came across, what I was thinking about, how I felt, and just to make sure that I had a catalogue of information so I could pass it on to you guys. Now, guys, there's two videos that are going to follow this straight after it. They are the two video diaries. I didn't do one for every day because 3 of the days it was unnecessary. Day 3 and day 5, or 4 and 5, there's two videos. They're video diaries, and I explain exactly how I'm feeling as I'm going through the dehydration process. So that will be worth a watch after this. And on top of that, if you're going to be a prepper, then as mentioned in other videos, we have to start with preparing ourselves first, guys. Making sure we're physically fit enough to survive sort of various challenges. We may find ourselves sort of being confronted with at any point, either right at the beginning, during, or whatever. Again, it just depends on the situation, the SHTF, the whatever it is. Okay, it's going to be different for everybody. But like I say, whatever that might be, and then conditioning our minds to ensure that we're strong enough to deal with it. Is that the good way of saying it? I don't know. And just cope with the psychological challenges that we could be faced with. And this is a good starting point. What is it like to not eat or drink for 5 days? Instead of being one of these panic buys in the shops, if the shit hits the fan, try and be proactive, simulate and experience some of the pain, and then well, I suppose prepare to ensure that neither you nor any of your family members or whoever it is you're responsible for have to sort of experience any of this for real. Um, this is going to be a reality check for me in that appreciating those things that we take for granted every day. If these items are taken away from us, we need to know what that means. That's my philosophy. It's no point in trying to be a prepper and trying to give people advice and stuff like that. There's no point in me trying to advise you on, you need X amount of food and water and stuff like that. If I actually don't know what that means for me, if I can experience it, then I can now I after this I can really emphasize the importance of water. You'll see what I'm talking about shortly. I talk about how critical that various situations can become, how painful it can get if those sort of food and water items can't be sourced from anywhere. When I say sourced, water from local sources or supermarkets or whatever it is, guys, when the shit hits the fan, the panic buyers are going to fuck you over. Okay, that's it, because they are just not going to be prepared. And unfortunately, that's going to be about 85% of the population, not just in this country, across Europe and other countries. That's just the way it is. That's the way life is. That's what we're presented with. That's what we got to deal with. So make sure you are not invited to that panic buying party, because they'll do you. I know when I last done this exercise, albeit only 3 days, but once I'd finished it, all I was thinking about afterwards was water butts, water collection, and everything else water. Because without water, you won't make it past 7 days. Okay, that's the reality of it. Hence the reason why we're doing 5 days this time, just to further test dehydration. I want to understand what this means, what it feels like. I want to understand what my body can deal with. Can it deal with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days or longer? But there are good gains to take away from any dry fasting. So dry fasting can accelerate what they call autophagy, which is a cellular sort of process where the body removes damaged cells and then it recycles cellular sort of components. There's metabolic switching. Now you'll be probably familiar with this, where the body may start to rely more on sort of stored fat and energy as it kind of adapts to the lack of food and water. So in a sense, that's basically the body starts to eat away at itself. So obviously, the bigger you are, the longer you may last without food, to be honest with you. And there's inflammation reduction, which suggests dry fasting can help reduce inflammation. Sorry, inflation. God, that would be good, wouldn't it? Inflammation. So just quickly, I'm going to just rattle through this. Day one. Let's get some photo. I'll bring some photos up in a minute. Day one, Monday of last week, absolutely fine. I kept myself busy, and the day it went quickly without the thought of any food or water. I just went about my own business, just done my normal daily routine, forgot about the challenge, and just let the body and mind sort of settle into a new way of life for that week. On Tuesday, day two, it can be challenging whilst the body adjusts to the absence of food and water. But once again, I kept myself busy and I just kept my mind off of food and water. Day three, I'll be honest with you, out of the 5 days, this day was the worst. Um, what did I get up to? So in the morning, I just spent the day sorting through some of my kit. I went through my Bergen, I went through my PLCE webbing. It's like a military belt with pouches on it. I've got various kit in there. I was replenishing anything that was missing and just going through my survival tin, going through my camouflage concealment pouch, going through first aid, my cooking and tea kit and boo kit. La, 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 la. Anyway, that's it. I was going through it all, and that was quite good. It kept my mind off of the challenge, certainly for the morning. Um, I'm not going to tell you how I felt in the afternoon, because the video diary that follows this video straight afterwards, I explain it. That's when I start talking about how I'm feeling and how the dehydration is affecting me, both psychologically and physically. Now, Day four, Thursday, that was the day after the shitty day. I planned to get out. I was making sure that or I needed to make sure that I wanted to keep my mind busy and active because I'm thinking, right, day three was rubbish. How am I going to get through day four? So I just wanted to get outside, get some fresh air, not too far away from the house. So I made plans on what I was going to do. So I was going to get out into the field. I was going to take just a small tack pack and my webbing, and I was going to make a small fire. I was going to collect some local water from a local source, that being a pond, a lake, a river, whatever it is, and I was going to filtrate it. And that was kind of it. That would have kept me busy. Now, I was up at 0300 hours, which is 3 a.m. in the morning. It was still dark on day four on Thursday, but only long enough for me to sort of, get myself ready and just get out into the field. So I managed to get everything done as per the photos that I'm just about to show you. And I've been to this small lake before a couple of times. This is kind of one of the places I go to do some bushcraft. Let's throw up. Let me show you what kind of went on. Where are we? Apologies for this spontaneous stuff. No, this is the wrong one as well. Don't want that. God, laptop's really slow. What is happening? So, water collection. I'm going to just go through one, two, three, four. Right, there's three video. Let's see if this video works. Actually, let's just see if the video works. Hopefully it does. Okay, so this was on the way. There was a field there. I saw a small river there. It's not even a river. I don't even, anyway, stream. Should we call it a stream? It's not even flowing. Water's not clear, but it's not too bad. It's definitely good enough to be filtered. So I just collected some water there into a bottle. Off we went. That was that. I also, so it was a lake. I was going to a lake and there was a wood next to it and stuff like that. So I could do both of the tasks that I was kind of looking at doing. Just quickly here, we're looking at bulrushes. I picked one of these. And the reason why I've done that is to help me sort of, or to contribute as kindling or something like that to start a fire. The only problem with that is it had been raining and it was still raining. And if you know anything about those bulrushes, they tend to soak up the water like a sponge. So I ended up not using it anyway. Um, let's just get rid of that. I then got into sort of an area in the woods. It's quite a thin wood. It's nothing spectacular. And then just got the firelighting kit out. So there's an axe there. There's some firelighting stuff there. Listen, guys, you guys, if you've got firelighting stuff, you all have different ways of whatever you feel best or most comfortable in using. There's various stuff that I can quickly, kick off a fire. In fact, I can kick off a fire with barely nothing. But most people can't do that. So the more stuff you've got around you, whether that's in an emergency pack at home, whether it's in a cupboard or box underneath the sink, whatever it is, make sure you can start a fire just in case you need to go in the garden, kick off a fire, boil some water, whatever it is. Let's not go into that right now. I'm just sort of, just going through that. Those are the three videos. Now, what I had, let's go into this quickly. Right, this is water filtration. Basically, what I've done is I've got that water. I put it into the hydrate mate bag at the top, and as you can see, that is filtering that stream water into that water bottle. Yep, that's all that is. It's just to show you that that's what. And there's the lake, large pond, whatever it is, small lake. That's where the bulrushes are over the back there. We had let's have a look. Let's see that. Let's get this up. Again, if you haven't used one of these life straws, I can do a separate video on it, but they're fairly easy. You fill up that bag of water from wherever you've sourced it, attach the life straw, turn it upside down, and then the water just filters through. This is not about water filtration, guys. This is about dry fasting. So I'm not going to go into that. But these are the things that I kind of just got into whilst I was out in the field. And listen, the reason why I've done this is just to keep my mind occupied. I've got a little fire going, nothing much because it just wasn't it wasn't much. I just wanted to get a little fire going. That was it, kind of. So yeah, that was the fire starting. I won't go through what's there. Got a small fire going, no problem at all. Easy, straight away. Even in the rain as well. But if you've got the right kit, it's all cool. And I wasn't cooking or trying to keep warm or dry anything, so I didn't let it run for too long. And that's it. Okay, boring, I know, but it's just to let you know that's what I was kind of doing. Now, moving on. What I'd done is after that, I made my way home. Now, I needed to keep myself occupied in the afternoon. So I decided to go to the shop and I wanted to make two small meals. I wanted to make a spaghetti bolognese for two people and a katsu curry. Now, there was only three components for each of those meals I had to sort of get. There was, let's see, we might have let's have a butcher's. So, for your what one's this one? So for yeah, you can see. Okay, just pasta, rice, a jar for your sauce, and then mincemeat for your spaghetti bolognese, and some chicken for the katsu. I went and bought those. Now, basically, what I wanted to do is do a meal for two. So that's for four people. There's two meals for each. And I wanted to dehydrate one meal out of each and then just put the others in the fridge or the freezer for the kids or whatever it is. So I sort of made these meals very easy, just three components. Off we went. Okay, so rice, chicken, katsu. And the next one will be the bolognese, I think. Yeah, now, okay, so this is the mince cooked, pasta cooked, drained off the pasta. Um, that's the same there. So the chicken's done, the rice is done, it just needs a sauce. And then just got them cooked up. That's it, nice and easy. It probably doesn't look too appetizing, but yeah, tasted okay once it was done. Um, Although saying that, I don't know. The kids had it and they didn't moan. So now, and what I wanted to do is dehydrate. I wanted to dehydrate a meal, one of each. So basically, I've got a dehydrator here, and I just wanted to get some use out of the food. That was the whole purpose of doing this. The main purpose of doing this was to cook the food and just to see my psychological reactions to temptation. Yeah. So when you're cooking and you haven't eaten for 3 to 4 days, I just wanted to test what that's like in terms of temptation and, trying to get over that hurdle, shall we say. Excuse me. What else we got? Yeah, that was the dehydrator. So as you can see there, there's the two meals that went into the fridge for the kids, and then there's the two for the dehydrator. Now, looks okay on there, but it doesn't look so great when it comes out of the dehydrating or the dehydrator itself. Don't worry about what that looks like. When you rehydrate it, it should come back looking like the original. Okay. Anyway, that's what I've done in the afternoon on day 4. Now, for me, sorry about that. So for me, day 4 was the best day. I was busy. I didn't think about food and water, even though I was cooking and I was around water. Um, and I know, I think I know why that is, and I'll explain that in a minute. Just one other thing that I did do as I was leaving this location, I managed to see loads of blackberries. So basically, what I've done is I emptied one of the water bottles, kept the filtered water in another, and then I collected a load of blackberries in one of the water bottles. So when I got home, whilst I was cooking that food, those two meals, I also made a blackberry and apple crumble for pudding for the kids. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, guys, is that day 4 was the best day for me, considering that the day before that, day 3, was the worst. And I wasn't looking forward to day 4 or 5 because of how I felt on day 3. Now, there's a couple of points I just want to raise. Right, how can I put it? I wasn't aware of this, and you won't be aware of it until you do it. There's different types of fasts, and people, do this for different personal reasons. My reason for doing this fast is probably a little different to many others out there who do it for dietary or health reasons. Some will do it for religious reasons, whether that's Ramadan or other religions, or for whatever reason. It might, everyone might have their own reason. But as a prepper, in my videos, I can't emphasize enough the importance of making sure you personally as a person should be prepared first. That will include making sure that you're in good health under your own circumstances, and just get yourself fit, meaning making sure that you're fit enough to do physical tasks that you may find yourself having to do, such as, I don't know, collecting water from a water source or shoveling earth or sand into sandbags, walking a distance across country to, a safer location, or you may be required to help volunteering with the locals. So if you've got a grid down and water outage, or local utilities have gone, there might be a requirement for volunteers to help. So you might find yourself physically unloading lorries, or the list goes on. Anyway, because if the shit hits the fan, you're going to need it. The psychological aspect of preparing yourself comes into play here. The most important prep of all in terms of item must be and has to be water, guys. The reason why is because you're going to be dead after 7 days. And I know that now because of how I felt on day 4 and day 5. Again, I'll explain that in a minute. I wanted to physically and mentally prepare myself for that possible scenario. And to do that, one has to fully understand what it means to you and your body to be without both of those vital components, that being food and water. I wasn't too concerned about food. I never have been, because you can live a lot longer, providing you've got water. Your lifespan without water is so short. 7 days tops. That's tops. And day 4 and 5, I started to feel it. I went into dehydration. You're never going to know those internal boundaries, guys, unless you put yourself into that position. So I wanted to also test and check my physical boundaries. Now, it's okay me sitting here saying I'm headstrong and I can do this and do that. That's fine. But my body might say, yeah, you might be headstrong, but physically you can't deal with it. So I wanted to test that. I wanted to see what my body thinks to going into dehydration and not what my mind thinks, if that makes sense. Um, I now know what it's like to go through these stages of dehydration. And honestly, after doing this exercise, I don't really want to go back there. It is uncomfortable. That's the reason why we do it, though, to appreciate the most of simple things that we all take for granted pretty much every day. And the best way to do that is just to take it away. Okay, so go on a dry fast and understand what that means. And I promise you, you'll come out of it thinking completely different. Right now, you wouldn't believe how much I value and appreciate water, and the food thing, I suppose. It's a bit different. Because as humans we can survive without food for weeks, providing we've got water, that is. That doesn't mean that food isn't appreciated, but water, it has to be at the very top of your list. And with that, it's going to be all about sort of making sure that neither me nor any member of my family have to go through, this experience. So that's the reason why I've done it, guys. I actually wanted to feel the discomfort and understand what it, the not the pain. Well, there was a little bit of pain, but yeah, I just wanted to understand that. I also learned a couple of other things as well, and this is what I wanted to hit on for day 4, because I couldn't believe how I got through day 4 after being so bad on day 3. Um, but I couldn't believe how much I look forward to cleaning my teeth and gurgling. You know, when you gurgle a mouthful of water after you cleaned your teeth and then you spit it out down the sink. I looked forward to that because it was the only bit of water I got in my mouth. And it just made me feel so much better. And I'm not on about swallowing it or anything, but just having that water in a dry mouth is unbelievable. I actually look forward to, having that water sort of in my mouth during the whole of that fast. So I looked forward to cleaning my teeth. Another 2 things I want to point out here as well. I believe day 4 was the best day because I was out in the rain and getting wet and wearing a short sleeve top, which means the water was hitting my skin and my skin was actually absorbing the rain. And when I got back home, I jumped straight into the shower and fuck me, I felt brilliant after that. So even though I hadn't sort of drunk any water, my body took advantage of the rain, the shower, and the teeth cleaning in grabbing whatever it could in terms of water. Until your body has gone through or gone into that dehydration, you won't be able to experience that feeling. It's you're feeling shit, and then if you go out in the rain, you're fine. Or if you're feeling shit, you get in the shower. And when I say shit, sorry about the language, guys. If you're feeling down because of dehydration and then you get in the shower, the water, your body absorbs the water and you just can't believe. To be fair, it doesn't last for long, but it does make you feel a bit better. Anyway, that's what I wanted to sort of explain because I didn't realize that that would sort of happen. So, how so day four, the day after. Yeah, so yeah, the day after day three was a godsend out in the field. Um, I'm a little disappointed that I kind of cut it short on the last day, but I was a little concerned about the right. I'll tell you what happened. So day four was good. Got to bed, got up in the morning, and I was up quite early again, and just sort of not feeling under the weather, but you are constantly conscious, guys, that your body is dehydrating and your mouth's gone dry. Now I was sat on the sofa. No, I'll tell you what happened. I went to bed quite early, about 8ish, and 12:30, just gone midnight, I woke up and I was wide awake. So I went downstairs. I sat on the sofa until 2 in the morning. But as I was sat there, I could start feeling a bit of a mild pain at my left side, at my back, underneath my ribs, which I think was my kidney. So I kind of got up and had a little walk around. And as I'd done that, I could feel it on my right side as well. So I thought, right, okay, it's 2 o'clock. I'm going to get my head down. So I slept on the sofa, woke up at 6 and kind of, took the dogs out for a walk and a bit of fresh air. But as I was walking around, I could feel my kidneys were telling me that there's a potential problem. Not a problem, but that they're not, they weren't happy. Now, that was the whole purpose of this, guys. Psychologically, you can be as headstrong as you like, but if your body can't deal with the lack of water and or food, it doesn't matter how strong your mind is. If your kidneys start to go and stuff like that, you've got to do something about it. So that was the whole purpose of the test. Now, when I got that, that's because when I'd done the 72 hours, I'd done the 3 days, I didn't experience this. I didn't experience the physical side of it. Yeah, it was a little bit uncomfortable, and you're hungry and you're testing your own emotions and temptation and stuff like that, and that was fine. But I needed to. It just wasn't enough of a test. Now this time it was. Yeah, believe me, it was definitely a test. Now, if it wasn't for the kidneys, I wouldn't have cut it short. I would have carried on until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But come 9 o'clock on the fifth day in the morning, I thought, no, I'm not going to gain any more out of this now. What I have done is I have felt the physical impact of dehydrating. So I left it there. Right, guys, I'm just going to give you three pieces of advice off of the back of this. Number one, get yourself, your body and your mind into the right place. That being a strong place, healthy body, healthy mind. You need to do that. If you can have all of the kit in the world, but if you're not healthy, if you haven't got a strong mind or a healthy body, it doesn't matter how much kit you've got. Secondly, get out there, and if you've got no kit, if you're new to this prepping, just get out there and get your 72-hour emergency pack together for you and for each other member that you're responsible for. So each other family member or whatever it is, okay, make sure, worst case scenario, if the shit hits the fan next week, you've got 3 days worth of kit just to get yourself through those 3 days. Okay, this is only my recommendation, guys. Now, thirdly, and this is important. Concentrate on water. Okay. Can you source water locally? Are there rivers, reservoirs, lakes, or anything local to you or within 5 miles? If there's no water coming out of those taps due to a cyber attack or contamination from a fallout cloud and or sabotage, and of course, the supermarket shelves in the water aisles have been cleared by all the panic buyers, you're going to be stood there in front of your kids and you're going to be done. You're going to be, you cannot be in that position, guys. Water, okay, you can survive weeks without food. So don't forget about that. Just that has to be next. But those are the three things, yeah. Okay, get yourself your physical body and your mind in the right place. Secondly, trying if you're new to this and you haven't got any kit, get the 72-hour emergency pack for you and every other member of your family. Thirdly, straight after that, once you've got your 72-hour pack, get out there and start thinking about water, where you're going to source it from, how you're going to transport it from A to B or from B to A, going back home, whatever it is. Um, Storage, water butts, containers, bottles, whatever it is, filtration, purification, and so forth. Okay, I've done some videos on this, guys. It's out there, and there's other people that have got the videos out there. That's it. Once you have those three check boxes ticked, then you're good to go with the food. Food is quite a big subject, and I've done 2 or 3 videos on food preparation, as well as the water preparations as well. So go and take a look. That's it, guys. Thanks for listening. Get yourselves military fit and infantry aware, because we could be running out of time. I will be back tomorrow with an urgent war and conflict update for the UK and Europe, because there's things happening that I need to tell you about. And I can't stress the importance of it enough. I'm not trying to get you to come back to the channel and watch my videos. And I'm genuinely here to give you advice, because the shit is going to be hitting the. I'm not going to swear. It's going to be hitting the fan. Okay, that's it. Right. Um, there's 2 videos straight after this. They're very, very short. They're just a video diary of day 3 and day 5. They're worth a watch if you want to kind of understand how I was feeling, the dry mouth and the kidneys and the temptation and all of that. Okay. Anyway, that's it for me, guys.